Hey guys, welcome to my crazy hair video. This is my hair fail video because I tried to lighten my hair and instead of it getting lighter, it actually got darker. So I'm going to tell you what happened to my hair. I mean, I'm not like hating my hair because actually um, it is this sort of the color that I've been into for a while, which is this dark. See how it's lighter at the roots? Isn't that so weird? But I've been into this color, which obviously I've been obsessed with. Here's my very hair care hair care product filled closet. This is what I've been like obsessed with, this color. So I kind of achieved it actually. Look, it's exactly. But I did not get this color to look like this when I wanted it. I wanted my hair to actually get lighter, like this one. It's the same damn color. Okay, look at this. Check this out. Look at this, okay? This is the same product. First of all, Nutrice, they're the only company that I have found that makes a product that actually lightens your hair. Everything else, for me, darkens it. L'Oreal products, which are normally my favorite products, every time I use a L'Oreal hair care product, I go out in the sun and my hair turns black. I mean, I'm not against this hair color. I've been loving this hair color. It's just that I was missing my blonde and I wanted to lighten it up. And I cut it short and anyways. So this is what I was going to do. So this is what I did. Last night, I'm like, I'm changing my hair. I'm going to do it. Oh. So this was my plan, was to use this and this together. I was going to use this, which is medium reddish brown, which I thought was going to lighten this up. Wrong. Don't think that. It's not true. And then I was going to put these highlights, which this kind, L'Oreal's Glam Lights, is designed for dark hair. See, it says you can use it on any color. So I thought, okay, I'm going to see what I can do with this hair. But truthfully, I am scared to use. Okay, so this was the kind of thing, this one, the color number 5RB, medium reddish brown, warmer, which is a L'Oreal Excellence Cream product. I always like to buy the cream Excellence creams because then it's less drippy and it stays in place while you're waiting. And I hate the way it drips down my neck. And I've been using Vaseline. That was the best thing I've ever learned, was to get a little, where's that little thing of Vaseline? Typical, I lose everything. Anyways, a little Vaseline. You put it all along the edge and behind your ear and on your ear and all over your ear, the back of your neck. Just smother yourself with Vaseline to protect your skin. Okay, so I'm at the pharmacy and I'm going crazy picking out all these things to try to fix my hair, which is just trying to show you with the mirror. I don't know the back of it. I don't like that. But anyways, so if you're blonde, if you're naturally a platinum blonde like me, which turns into like an ash blonde as you get older, and you try to use one of these type of things, very likely your hair is going to turn black in the sun instead of blonde. If you're used to being blonde, us blondes have this weird opposite reaction to some of these dyes. So I was going to give up L'Oreal because I started to realize that maybe something about their hair care was just not right for my hair, even though I normally love their products. So I put this in. It seemed like it lightened my hair for a little while. I noticed it getting lighter as I was waiting for it. I was like, oh, good, it's getting lighter, yay. And then it got darker and darker and darker. By the time I left it in for the full 30 minutes, by the time I washed it out, it was black. And when I got out of the shower, it was jet black on the edges. Up here, it was near the roots, it was red. But all this part was black. Not even kidding. So I immediately, thank God I had this. I had this. This was the empty one. And I dried my hair and was in shock that it was black. And I quickly put this on because this does lighten your hair. And if you're blonde trying to be red, I think these Garnier is the only one who makes this lightening thing, ultra lightening browns for darker hair. And there's two different ones. One is reddish brown, and the other one is like a darker blonde. And this one, it's funny see how this is the exact same color B2, but the box is totally different. You know, this is the same color, but obviously it's not the same color. So I would never choose this color, but I was just trying to lighten up my hair like it's that. So I used this exact box, which is empty now, and it salvaged the situation to get me through this day. And I thought, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna go do something else. So my new plan, after talking to that really nice girl at it's Rite Aid or CVS, I think it's Rite Aid, this really pretty girl who knows all of the products, and she's the one who makes me, she's got like a magic spell. She made me buy all this stuff and spend way too much money. She's the one who talked me into this, which is really good, and I stopped using it because it was so expensive and I ran out. But this looks like I was just squeezing the last little bits of it. There's still a little bit left. And I didn't buy it again because I couldn't find it on the shelf, and it's so expensive. It's not cheap, I'm telling you. It works great, but it's like $50. And I mean, you know, so it's one of those things I'll buy like once in a while to treat myself, but she talked me into it. She also talked me into, this girl she's great at sales. I wanted her to work for me. She talked me into buying this. It's a 10 product. It's a 10. So it's a Miracle Deep Conditioner, and she went on and on about how great it is for your hair, how it's even better than the kinds that come in the L'Oreal boxes, and that's hard to believe because nothing is better than these. So she talked me into it. I'm going to return it because it's like $18. It's $2 off with your Rite Aid coupon or CVS coupon, but she wanted me to buy this and another product, another expensive hair care product. I was taking things off. Then she talked me into this, which was like $2.99 on sale, so that wasn't a big deal because that's only $3. This is it's like a dry shampoo. I didn't need this, but she told me to get it, so I got it because it was only $3. And then this one was also on sale. This is more of the a hairspray, which is actually more useful. This one's called Boost It High Lift Creation Spray, and it says instant lift and fullness, strong hold. This one says blow out, dry it, blow out, long wear spray, and extends blowout, long lasting effect. I mean, the changes in these products is so subtle. You're sort of like, serious? How many products do I need to buy? So this is my new plan. I have a new plan now. I'm going to try this after I deal with this current dark red. I'm going to use the hair color removal by L'Oreal. Take it all off. They say you only need one time, and it takes everything off. My hair is short now, so I shouldn't need 2 boxes. And then I'm going to start over. And my new color, I think, and might be this, but I'm not sure. These are those 2-tone L'Oreal things that I used to use, and I got out of using them. The other thing I got that I really want to try before I do all that, though, is this highlighter for dark hair. It says you can use it on any color. You know? So normally, I think blonde highlights look bad on like super dark black hair, and they probably will look weird on this color. Probably they won't be good. But I'm going to try it just to see, and I even bought a straightener to go with it. I was going to get the really nice fancy one that was $42, but this was $19.99, and I just went for the cheaper one because you got to draw the line here somewhere, you know, with buying all this stuff. It's ridiculous. So much stuff. So yeah, in my I would not buy this again. 5RB. It's, you know, you're mixing all these products. You have to figure out what the heck you're doing. So I have this highlighting and this highlighting. 2 options. And I kept my receipts in case I want to return any of it, because it's kind of ridiculous. She did talk me. I did get. What did I get? Where is it? Oh, this. She did show me where this was. She got me hooked on this Lumen vitamin C cream. This is not cheap either, but I think it was kind of expensive, but it's so nice. And it does make your skin like velvet, so I don't regret getting this. Another thing that I found in the drawer is Sarah McNamara Skin Transformer Face something other, blah, 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 tinted, blah, blah, blah. And truthfully, I like this. It's a base, but actually, and this is a not good flattering lighting, but this is sort of a nice, this is nice because it's a nice color. Do. So, yeah, if anybody wants to buy this and try it and tell me what they think, I just thought, I cannot spend all this. This is ridiculous. Oh, here's my Vaseline. This is so important when you're coloring your hair. Vaseline. These basic things: Arm & Hammer baking soda, Vaseline, and apple cider vinegar, and olive oil, and you can get through life pretty well with those things. You don't really need all this other stuff. It's just fun to buy it if you can afford it. It does get expensive. So I mean, I can live with this dark hair. It kind of became the color I wanted for a while. That really super dark. What do you call this color? Oh yeah, I think this is so pretty. And you know, I kind of almost achieved it. This is number RR04, Intense Dark Red. So I've got intense dark red hair. Yes, I do. All right, that's my crazy hair video so far. I wanted to also talk about a couple other things that I tried for my teeth and tell you about that and how I did my energetic medicine thing, because I really want to get into the energetic medicine. It's nighttime. Because I think that the world is heading in a direction. This is really nice too. Barlean's olive leaf throat spray. This has peppermint, and it's peppermint oil, sage, lemon, and olive leaf. And I really bought this because you could spray it in, and I got it for that tooth gum abscess problem that I have, and it is really nice and soothing. Ooh, you want to see the thing I've been working on? I'm gonna make a video of that. But look. I've been rotating that while I work on it. I'm gonna make a video actually about me drawing that and listening to possibly one of these super soldier videos that I'm kind of obsessed with right now, because I find this whole super soldier thing pretty interesting, and it doesn't surprise me that the Catholic Church, that the Vatican and the Nazi Party are together. And that the Vatican, he says the Vatican, this super soldier James Casbolt / Michael Prince says that the Vatican basically was in charge of the Nazi Party way back when, and they've always been in charge of the Nazi Party, or they work together, and they've used basically the Nazis and the Catholic Church, or the Vatican, really work together to since World War II, and probably before that, to figure out all of those science experiments they were doing on, the Nazis were doing them on the Jews and probably other people. That all, according to these super soldiers, these 42 children that have been genetically enhanced and traumatized by the NSA, and used as weapons in these incredibly clandestine, secret mind control ways that are just blow your mind. So, to these super soldiers, these ones from England, the two men that you hear from the most, James Casbolt and Max Spears, they're like the two brothers. They're like Cain and Abel or something, or on Lil and on Key, or I don't know. They're fighting with each other, but there's a lot of complications in the story. The bottom line is that the Nazi Party apparently is alive and well, and it's actually not like a little party that's like a little thing. It's actually like in everything. Um, Shock of all shocks. And I feel like this Michael Prince character, all of them are here to tell the story of what they've been going through and what is going on in the world and in this country. God, they really are. This guy, he sounds like a madman. He doesn't speak like a madman. He speaks like a very, very cool individual. And his voice has resonances that you can feel. I mean, I can feel myself responding. DNA. He says that his voice triggers the memories. I believe that because that's what happens. I mean, our voices trigger our memories for each other. My voice is going to trigger that for you guys too, because that's the point of the videos, the bloggers who are all trying to connect with each other and trigger each other's memories and rebuild the DNA connections. I really want to ask this guy my own questions. I have all these questions I want to ask him. And I think it's great that Miles Johnston is doing these videos, but he ends up interrupting the super soldiers so many times when they're about to say something I really want to hear. So I'm just like dying to interview these guys myself and ask my own questions. So trying to figure the story out. I'm just going to ramble here. If you're so done with listening to anything about this, then just turn off the video if you just wanted to hear about the hair care stuff. But if you're interested in listening to me sort of ramble on about what I've been learning about these other guys, then stay tuned and keep listening because I'm going to talk about it. Because I want to know the story, the whole Jesus story, everything. I want to know it. And I've been dying to know it. And I've been asking for the answers from the universe. And the answers that have been coming are that basically these characters are alive on the planet. Archangels, Michael, whatever, Jesus, Satan, Lucifer. And now I notice there's all these movies about Lucifer coming out. That the movies often tell us what's going on. So this guy, Michael Prince, supposedly has 12 different clones, and I think that they've all spoken on camera on behalf of him. They supposedly all know about each other. Cloning, I guess, is really common now. It's not hard to clone somebody, but it does take a year to build a clone. And when you listen to Michael Prince go on and on, whether you believe him or not, he's pretty interesting. Even if it's all sci-fi, it's pretty interesting. Sci-fi. And it makes sense with the stuff that you see in these movies. I mean, these movies tell us these stories. Do we just think that they make that up out of the blue? And that none of that is based on anything that somebody thought of or saw or, you don't just make up stuff like that. If you have the technology to make a movie about something, perhaps there is that technology. I think it's funny that we don't assume that these things might be real. It's funny how we're like that. I think it's because of the programming. This is another thing I want to learn about is the DNA. This guy talks about Atlantis and Odin and Thor and Odin's spear, which is called something like, what's his spear called? Gungadir. And then how the whole King Arthur thing with the sword and only one guy can pull out the sword. Well, that's supposedly an Odin story and with Odin's spear. And Odin is basically Eric the Red, And I guess these are all Anunnaki people, but I don't understand how he's a reptilian. That's where I'm still confused. These reptilian things, I don't get it. There's a part of me that has such a resistance to the whole concept of reptilians because we don't like reptilians. Pleiadians, I mean, not Pleiadians necessarily because the reptilians are Pleiadians, but I mean, wherever I come from, we don't go with reptilians. There's an inner battle there because we don't like reptiles. I don't hang out with snakes. I don't buy a snake to live in my house. It's like the last thing I would buy. So they're trying to unite these different species. It's so complicated. He said it can take years to really digest the information. Isn't it crazy if Archangel Michael is actually a Nazi? Oh God, he says that. I hate to say it, but I mean, I don't find it hard to believe that the Catholic Church would participate in child abusing practices because they've been abusing children the whole time. So he basically is saying that everybody's a vampire or a werewolf or that they're all a bunch of reptilians that need to live on children in order to keep their skin covering up their reptilian bodies. Excuse me. Sorry. I've had a cough for like 3 weeks. I've been actually getting better, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the energetic medicine. So I'm rambling. I just want to slowly. I don't want to sound like I'm crazy believing all this stuff, but I feel it is our obligation to give these ideas a chance. What if it's true? I mean, we have to consider these things, I guess. This is what we need to do, I actually think. I think that even though if we consider them, we don't need to let that make us so fearful that we create a really bad situation. I actually think, now the Nazis are into this whole Aryan race cleansing thing, get rid of all the other races. I mean, and this guy, Michael Prince, he's like, hey, that's the way nature is. The survival of the fittest. There's the strongest and the weakest. And if you're the strongest, you win, and you're the weakest, you lose. And that's that. And that's the way the game is played. And don't be a baby, And he's just like, and most people are like, well, you can't be mean to the lesser races. You have to help them out and be nice to them and help them because that's the democratic way, And he's basically like, no, in nature, it's survival of the fittest. A tiger is going to eat whatever it wants to eat. It's not going to try to take care of the lesser species. But you know what? He's not completely right about that because the animal kingdom is changing, and animals are. You do see these videos where animals that are not normally ones that would get along are getting along. You do see these videos where there's a change, there's a shift. So instead of this whole ethnic cleansing thing that he's into, I actually am in favor of the races mixing. And the Nazis think that, the worst thing in the world you could ever be called is a Nazi. So no one wants the Nazi party to take over the world. Apparently they're already, well, it's not just the Nazis, it's the Jews, it's the Rothschilds. Supposedly he says the Jews have made up all of our religion, or all of our texts, all of our education, and other systems. I don't know what to think of this guy, but I was trying to figure out. He says he thinks that the mixing of the blood lines weakens the bloodline. But. And that America, he was saying how America is going to get bombed or something. But he can say whatever. I think that, maybe we're headed for our 6th extinction. They say we're headed for another extinction, so that might be true. But this is what you can do about all this. This is what I figured it out. Oh, giant boobs. I think it's really funny that all these other women are showing their nipples and nursing their babies and talking about their breasts on YouTube. But when I talked about my breasts as a fully grown woman who's nursed 3 children. And I'm over 50. I have a right to talk about my breasts if I want to talk about them. I don't think any woman in this country or any other country should not be allowed to talk about their breasts lest they get this reprimand from specific people who happen to hate that woman. It's ridiculous. Come on. Be free, people. Talk about your body if you want to talk about your body. Anyway, I think the mixing of the races is a beautiful thing. I've seen incredible people come from, the Irish guy and the Korean mom, and then there's these amazing children that have so many talents. So I think that this whole racial cleansing thing, what he says he wants, what he says the Nazi party wants, the Germanic is they want to take over the world. They want to have everybody equal because everybody's basically a white person. And but there's a leader, the one top guy, top of the pyramid, eye of the pyramid. I guess we're at the top where, we've been moving along, and now we're at the point where there's the capstone at the top of the pyramid, and the game is over. There's one guy, and I think Michael Prince thinks he's going to win, and he's going to be the top guy. And that movie where that archangel comes down and becomes violent just to see what it's like? You know that movie? I haven't seen that movie, but I heard about it. I think it has something to do with this Michael Prince character, who's a very charming guy. I mean, he's got this super appealing, he's very handsome, and then he's got this nice way of speaking, and he stays calm, which is his most one of his most attractive qualities. You would never say he's crazy because he's so calm. I really think that this guy came down to this planet to be a horrible person, a Nazi, a vampire, werewolf, whatever, genetic super soldier. He doesn't kill children, and he's not a pedophile. So that's the one good thing. One good thing about him. But I think the reason he came to this planet to get involved with all that horrible stuff is to expose it. He's actually an angel. So doing all this bad stuff in order to trigger us into action, to evolve our souls, is part of the ascension. So on one hand, he seems like this cold-hearted guy. On the other hand, he says, or at least some of his alters will say, or his clones will say that, I've heard him say that love is the answer, so he does believe in love, and that if you have strong enough soul, and that if you're very, very strong within yourself, that any psychic attacks or anybody can't harm you. It bounces right off of you. So the answer is to have a really strong connection to your own soul and your spirit, and just be rock solid. Don't let it go. Be strong. So the way to really strengthen your spirit is what I've been doing is making my circle, working with my crystals. I'm going to talk about more of that later. And then go out into the sun and just literally force myself to, thankfully I live in a place where there is a lot of sun, to work with that sunshine and consciously think to myself that my body and my being, my body on this planet with my feet on the ground is a transducer of universal love and light. Energy from the sun comes through my body. Used to turn my hair golden, but now that's gone for a while, so I don't know if I'm going to get my golden hair back. Maybe it's the black goo took me over. I don't know. It just seems weird that I'm all dark-haired. Now I don't have my crystal, but this is actually a good piece. It has a lot of nice values to it. So, but picture the sun coming through your body, make that circle, really, really focus on this. It actually works. Bring in that sunlight, you bring it through your body, you pass it down to the earth, through the earth, visualize it coming around like a toroidal thing, and say to yourself, I hold the energy of the beautiful, loving light of Mother Goddess. This is about loving the mother. One thing Michael Prince says that really blew my mind, and this is what the Pleiadians are always saying, and us humans cannot conceive of this, but he says on these other planets, and on Aldebaran, which is, I guess, is where one of his mother or his father are from. I don't know. Aldebaran is part of the Pleiadian star system, but it might be part of the Orion star system. Is that an Orion planet? I think it's kind of a warring type planet. Whether it's these super soldiers, it's part of the ancient wars. I think Aldebaran. I don't really know, but I think it's funny that Deb is in the middle of the name. Aldebaran. Made me wonder about my name and the name of that planet. I always thought it was weird that I was named Deb. Why would I be named Deb? That's not a name I would think I would ever choose. But I think it's interesting that the name of that planet. So he thinks that if we mix breeds, if we mix races, that's going to weaken us. But I think if we mix races and focus on bringing the actual love vibration to the planet, which is not easy because we don't even know what the love vibration is half the time. We're so disconnected from it. I even had an image of it where the negative forces, in order for them to leave, they've been planning space. They have the Catholic Church and the Nazi Party have an escape plan, because when everyone finds out and figures out and accepts the fact that the Nazi Party and the Catholic Church has been abusing children all these years, we're not going to put up with it. First, it's going to take us a while to believe it. Nobody wants to believe that this would happen. Nobody wants to believe religious leaders would ever, ever, ever harm children. I'm going to put more of my eyebrows on because I don't like that. And so this is where I think that humanity will draw the line and put an end to this and not accept that this goes on. This is why they've been planning to get out of here and escape, and that's why they've been building bases on Mars and other planets, and building these soldiers out of human DNA, wolf DNA, reptilian DNA, and supposedly they're spraying blood in the air, which he called an antidote, because supposedly I have to give everything a chance because I just believe in trying things on for size as a concept. Supposedly these vampires, that nobody wants to believe that there's all these vampires that are running the world. You think about the vampire TV shows, they're sort of there to get us used to this whole vampire thing. I think they're trying to help everybody get used to the idea that we are indeed, infested by vampires. So they're supposedly spraying blood in the air. He said they're spraying human blood, wolf blood, and reptilian blood in the air. And he called it an antidote for this problem where, it's for the super soldiers who are a mixture of reptilian and technology. They've become upgraded. He says they've been under all these operations since they were babies, and have all these chips in their brains and things like that. And the whole thing is just... The thing is, you can live on this planet and work with your own body to contribute to this story and the situation without having to get overly caught up into these dramas with these super soldiers and stuff like that. I'm just really fascinated by it because I know there's answers in there that I want to know. So I'm not going to live my life afraid that I'm going to get attacked by a bunch of reptilians, or spiders, these diamond spiders or something. But I am going to be aware that there might be that out there, and I'm just going to protect myself by putting a protective shield around my body, a protective shield around my children's bodies, and really work with my own energy field to make it strong, and so that these weirdos, whatever they are, can't affect me. And I do think that we have that ability, and that's what we should be doing. And so that's why I'm finally ready to do the energetic medicine videos I've been talking about, and some people have been asking about for a while, because I want to be able to give the skills that I've learned for myself and how I adapted them to my personal abilities, and how you can take the same type of energy work and bring it to your own self, your own life, and personalize it. And I'm going to get into all of that. Now, finally, I get it. Like, I feel the motivation to do it. I'll probably do it under my another channel. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. I noticed that my email was hacked into again yesterday. Well done. Well done, guys. You finally figured out my password. I have hundreds of failed login attempts on a lot of my accounts, and I can see that they're there. And they knew my passwords, so many of my passwords from hacking into my phone before, that they just kept trying to figure out, and they finally got it through. And I could see somebody else was in there, so I had to change my password again. And this is why another reason why I'm starting a new channel. But I thought it was interesting. On one hand, he said that we don't have any souls, and that the idea of a soul was just a mind control from the religions to hold on to people's minds and control them. But then later he said that love was the answer, as if he knows the real answer, but he has to play the bad guy. It's as if he's playing the bad guy because somebody has to play the bad guy, and that he was contracted outside of the Tesseract, which is the boundaries of which is the mathematical equation to the universe. I really want to talk to him. God, I wish I could interview him myself. I'm hoping somehow in the world I could get my questions answered directly by him. Michael, warrior. He's definitely, you know how Michael has the sword. Archangel Michael is the warrior. I've always felt like Michael was the battler, and he likes to fight. That's why he came down here as a badass super soldier. Of course, he comes down as the most powerful super soldier. But the thing with him is that he's got this technology, but he doesn't have any money. So of his own, he relies on the money that comes through the NSA. And it seems like they tried to get rid of him at one point. And he's like really hard to kill because he's made of metal. And he's got a diamond exoskeleton, which I'm still trying to figure out what is the exoskeleton. And, I mean, I feel like betrayal, the concept of betrayal, is definitely something that we all end up experiencing on the planet in our lifetime here. We all get betrayed, and then we have to deal with it. And how do we deal with betrayal? Because betrayal basically sucks, and it's a violence, it's a crime. But we all deal with it, cheating, sleeping with your husband, your sister's husband, sleeping with your husband, sleeping with your sister, you stealing, betrayal. The ultimate betrayal on this planet, I believe, is the religious leaders turning out to be pedophiles and child murderers. And to find out something like Jesus is actually Satan. That would be the ultimate betrayal, right? What if we all found out that Jesus and Satan actually were the same guy, and they were also Odin and Thor? But I'm so confused. This guy says he's from the tribe of Dan. The tribe of Dan is supposedly the tribe of Satan, and which is in relationship to Saturn. Saturn and Satan are like the same thing. So he says Satan and Jesus are the same guy. And that whole thing was an Enlil thing. Is he Enlil? Is Archangel Michael Enlil? And that somehow that Satan and Jesus and Thor are the same. Wow. But then there's this Odin sword, and there's Thor's hammer. Oh, he said the swastika was a symbol of Thor's hammer. And the swastika has, the worst possible, and everybody hates the swastika except for the Nazis. But the symbol itself, it's not like a bad symbol. It goes a certain direction. It fits right inside the Star of David. Um, I have a symbol. My symbol is totally different from both of those symbols. So I guess it's like Max Spears comes from the tribe of David, and then Michael Prince comes from the tribe of Dan, which was the tribe that was left out of the Bible because that was the evil tribe. He also says that the Atlanteans, that the leaders of the Atlanteans did not die when Atlantis fell. They lived, they escaped, they figured out how to do. They had the skills of longevity in a physical body on the planet. That's what their goal was. To stay in the same body the whole time, forever and ever and ever on this planet. And so he says that the Atlanteans, the leaders, escaped, and there's all these underground tunnels under the earth, in the earth that connect apparently all these bases, NSA bases, National Security Agency bases, that connect to the Vatican and all these other bases, which have layers under the earth. He says he's been down to all these things. I mean, possible to prove an impossible. That's what I always say. So when you listen to him talk, Michael Prince, and also Max Spears, they're both very captivating. They're both very charming. You listen to them. You feel connected to them. You definitely resonate. They're powerful. Max Spears is clearly working for good. He doesn't believe in this master-slave dynamic, which is what Enlil or the Nazi Party likes, or the religion. I mean, apparently it's all they're all bloodthirsty vampires. And he talks about he says is that Nicolas Cage. He says Nicolas Cage is a vampire. I actually believe that somehow. That he's been around for a long, long time. There's all these vampire movies. Maybe there are vampires that live and live and live and live on human blood. I mean, human blood is very valuable stuff. I mean, that is obvious. When you think about the human body, it's crazy to think that our body doesn't have any value. I mean, our body is valuable. Every single part of it. And every time you raise your consciousness, your body becomes more valuable because you've raised your consciousness and your DNA is affected. Your body's affected by your spirit. So every bit of learning that you have, every enlightenment you've ever received, every time you've expanded your consciousness and connected yourself to a higher understanding, you've upgraded your body, and your body is worth more value in terms of probably you taste better, A, and B, you have more knowledge in there. So if somebody were to eat you, they might also gain that knowledge. So I mean, it's pretty gross. They're supposedly building underground food factories where these bases have been, because they're planning on nuking and killing all the people and then using their bodies for food. So we all got to eat, right? I'm only trying to make light of it. I mean, what are you going to do? We have our food factories, for God's sakes. Do we not slice animals up thin and then put them in little packages with labeling and sell them at a store? I mean, Did you know that all the Chinese people in China, when they die, are plasticized? That's a law, a national law for the whole country. Every single Chinese person that dies has to their body has to go to the government. You don't just bury the body. You're not allowed to do that. Has to go to the government, and they plasticize, which is a German technique that fills the body with some sort of a gel that it holds it in a not a frozen state, but a gelled state, and then you can slice it super thin and analyze it and study it, or I don't know, you could package it up and sell it for sandwiches. I mean, I don't know why they chop it up, why they need to slice it up super thin. All I could think of was Oscar Mayer, sandwich meat when I mean, you know, every single human body has to be plasticized so it can be sliced thin. I mean, or cubed to fry up in a frying pan. I mean, I don't know. I mean, doesn't it make you wonder? You know, that thing about the Matrix. Somebody else said they saw that's totally real, where the souls or the humans are energy, and they feed off our energy. And another thing he said, this Michael Prince guy who speaks in a very nice way that you listen to him, and he's got a charming different ones of his clones have very charming, slightly Irishy version of his British accent, which make him sound more charming. But another thing he said was that well, I lost that train of thought, but this is another one is that the vampires would go into the hospitals, and that's what it is, they like the young children's blood rejuvenates. It's like eating an egg with all the nutrients. Eating a raw egg, you get the youthful, and then the youthful hormones. You know, um, I mean, somebody told me that they take the circumcised tips of little baby penises and sew them into women's lips for lip enhancements. I mean, if that's true, and she told me that it was true, and she worked for the medical profession for 30 years. She said that and I even wondered if she did it to her mouth because there's something about the way her mouth looks. But she said they take literally the circumcised penis tip and sew it right into a woman's lips. Is that not like a witch eating a baby? I mean, come on. They give Planned Parenthood crap for selling organ or selling babies' fetuses. What do you think the medical profession does? Fetuses and the cord and the placenta, that stuff is very, very valuable stuff. Imagine if you could sell your own placenta to somebody, your own baby's placenta. You put some money in the bank for your child to go to, not to go to college. Or get a head start in life. The placenta, that's very valuable. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Was he said that there's a fear energy that they trigger in humans, and then they feed off the fear. I don't know how that they eat the fear, but I've heard that enough times from different sources that I have to imagine that might probably be true. Somehow they eat your fear. And then if they suck your blood while you're really afraid and or slash sexually aroused, the hormones that are moving through the body during sexual arousal and fear are so intense that you get high for hours. You get a super blast of high. These vampires or whatever, I don't know. But hormone junkies, I mean, you can be addicted to your own hormones, like talking yourself into getting upset or being an anger junkie, because when you're angry, the hormones are intense. It's a rush. So it's like the hormones. You can be a junkie just on your own hormones, and if somebody wants to suck your blood or eat your energy, you know. What he says is that these blood-sucking reptilians are one that are pretending to be humans in order to control humans. I don't know, are one thing. And then the regular human beings like us are another thing, and they're so far, they don't understand each other. And he feels that, I believe he thinks it's his role to bring the understanding from both sides together. And it's a pretty tough role. So I guess maybe I feel some sort of need to contribute to that connection, that understanding, because I'm trying to understand it. So, um, you know, we have enemies that we need to deal with. So, how do we deal with it? Here's my idea. I have an idea on how to deal with your enemy. Ask your enemy to dance. Would you like to dance? Would you like to dance? If I saw a creepy reptilian, but there was some music playing, if I could get over the shock of the creepy reptilian, I would be like, you guys want a boogie? I actually think there's something to that, to that way of handling, um, dealing with creepy things, creepy, scary things, is to ask them to dance with you. And I think that when people are on the dance floor together, it's like a universal language that breaks the spell of needing to have an enemy. So I just wonder if, like, I would love to dance with Michael Prince. I bet he's really fun. I did finally see him smile and laugh, because usually he's so serious about everything because the subject matter is so serious that he talks about. Um, and I mean, he can sometimes have a cocky side, but not really. I think he just hates Max Spears because Max Spears shot him in the head. Um, it's interesting. Interesting story. Anyway, so that's a lot of rambling on. So almost an hour, so here we go again. But well, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to make other videos. I'm coming up with that. I'm going to get onto this energetic medicine thing because I think that's really important. I want to share that. That has been helpful and powerful for me, and I think it can really help people deal with whatever's coming up. In case there is some big shit coming up, then we're going to be able to deal with it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll let you know how my hair story goes because God knows what the hell is going to happen to it. So big kiss. Thanks for watching. Don't be afraid to like or subscribe. Love it when you do. Everybody loves a fan. Okay, talk soon, guys. Big kiss.